I think one of the things that's really missing is self-forgiveness. I think self-forgiveness by itself is the ultimate act of self-compassion, and yet it's missing in action for most people. So most people will go through life with I call it the invisible backpack, which they put on first thing in the morning before they brush their teeth, before they even start scrolling. And that backpack is full of resentments, anger, disappointments, hurts, uh, what have you. And if you don't do the work, then you're carrying all this dead weight. I've had people, because I take people through a self-forgiveness process, and it's actually pretty easy to do. People don't know how to do it, number one, or they're scared to do it. Steve, I've had people that I've had things on their backpack for over 50 years, some mistake, quote unquote, that they made over 5 decades ago, and they're still carrying it. Think about that. Dead weight, right? And when we go through the process, and when we're done, we hug it out. Every single person.
Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk on life. Our guest will share his life story. We want you to success in life. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk on life. We're gonna talk on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are gonna witness.
Shout out to my sponsors, A Mind for All Seasons. Your brain is your greatest competitive edge, so why not optimize it? Just text OPTIMIZE to 72000, 72000 for instant access to 6 quick videos that help you think faster, remember more, and stay focused longer. A big thanks to Epic App, the 4-step storytelling system I use every day to connect and to convert. Try it free. Email me at stever1961@gmail.com. That's stevr1961@gmail.com, and I'll get you the free app. Doing Business with a Servant's Heart was just named top 6 in small business marketing. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I'm fired up to have you come in today because how do you feel when you're happy? Happy, right? Your day goes so much better. You're going to have bad days, but if you can flip it around pretty quickly, become happy, fun, enjoy your life, whether you're alone or with a group, happy is the key. And that's what are going to be our theme today. Before we introduce our guest, let's do our gratitude for today. So today's gratitude is, you're as unlimited as the endless universe. Limitless. Do anything you want. Of course, I'm 5'8" and probably a little too big to be an NBA football, baseball, basketball player, if you know my sports. That's okay. But my limitless is I can meet an NBA player, bring him my podcast, and make a difference in the world. There's so many ways around being happy and limitless. What a great quote to start the podcast, excuse me. So let's bring our guest on. Dr. Elia, welcome to the show.
Thank you, my friend. It's a pleasure and an honor. I appreciate it.
Back at you because, servant's heart, they're always happy. Why happiness? Why is that your main thing?
Who gave the best answer to that is like 2,500 years ago, and I'm Greek, so the great Greek philosopher, you grew up with that, Aristotle said it best, better than anybody. He said, happiness is the whole purpose and meaning of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. Think about what he just said. Nobody can improve upon what he said. It's the whole purpose and meaning of life. And happiness is a choice, but more importantly, it's a skill set. So if we do certain things on a consistent basis, then I promise you, you will have happiness, inner peace, live life with purpose in your life. Guaranteed that that's going to happen. But it's got to be consistent. It's not like I'm going to go to the gym once this month and again in June. That's not going to get you in shape. So it's like,
yeah. Don't be happy today and then 5 months later be happy again.
Exactly.
Great
Right.
analogy. Well, here's the flip side to this, because I hear it, I know you probably hear it more than I do, is why are you so happy? Why do you have so much positive energy? How do you do it? Well, we have bad days. I know you do too, but how do you flip it?
Yeah, not only bad days, but I've had, tragic things happen in my life too. I lost my mom to cancer when I was a young man. I was 22 and devastated in my life. My dad passed away when he was 65, again, fairly young I lost. So, but happiness to me, and how do you flip it? So it doesn't mean that you don't hurt or you're not in pain or you don't like feel grief, of course, and get down. There's two ways to quickly snap out of, like, on a daily basis. If I'm having a rough day or whatever, two things. One is what you did at the beginning of the show, which is gratitude. Because we know now, physiologically speaking, that you cannot be in a grateful state and be depressed simultaneously. Because when we're in a grateful state, the great drugs, I call them the best drug dealer in the world, is the human brain. Best drug dealer making me your friend. Your brain is the best. When you're in a grateful state, it starts releasing all those beautiful chemicals, right? They're beautiful things that flood your system, so you cannot be depressed and grateful at the same time. The other thing is, do something for somebody else. If I want to get out, because typically when you're down, it's like, I'm having a right. Why is this happening to me? I get into a victim mode. Why is this happening to me, right? As opposed to going, why is this happening for me? Not to me, for me. If we switch the question in our brains, you have a completely different outcome. If I'm always asking, why is this happening to me? I'm going to get down and depressed and feel like the world is out to get me. Everything is going wrong. But if I switch that and say, why is this happening for me? Now we go back to the gratitude part. One of my role models, Nelson Mandela, an amazing human being, imprisoned for 27 years, comes out, forgives his oppressors, becomes president, and doesn't go after them. So, on that alone, he's my hero. He said something so simple and so profound. He said, in life, either you win or you learn, meaning that there's no losing. And the truth is, for both you and I, Steve, and for your audience too, where have we learned our greatest lessons? It certainly has not come from our successes. At least for me, my greatest lessons have come from what at the time seemed to be a mistake, a setback, a human frailty, a weakness, whatever you want to call it, right? But I look back at that and say, you know what? If that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. So, in essence, I'm actually grateful that it happened, as long as you learn the lessons. If you don't learn the lesson, it's going to keep coming back over and over again. So I love what he said. And I truly believe we're all graduates from the University of Adversity. All of us. And the older you and I have gray hair a little bit, I have more than you. The older we get, the higher the degree of adversity we have faced in our life, right? So the question is, just have an attitude of gratitude. Okay, well, that's easy when life is going well. Can we be grateful when things are not going according to the way that we want them? And that's when what Nelson Mandela really works. If I can find the lesson in this, and the quicker we find the lesson, the better we are.
It's a beautiful message. And it reminds me too that when we have grief or things that happen, that we learn from other people too. You just said you went through tragic. Well, you're working with people and helping them because Dr. Elia went through this. So, Steve, you don't have to go through it. My adversity, I'm going to teach you so you don't have to deal with it. As we get older, I think that's what we do more, don't we?
Of course. And, life, when you do something good for somebody else, this is my very first life lesson, my oldest life lesson. I've had it for, I'm getting close to 60 years. I was 40 years old. And my grandfather, Elia, whose name I carry and I honor, and he died when I was 5, so I don't have a lot of memories of him. But he was a sweetheart of a man. He was a tax collector, which back in the day in Greece, this was the worst job in the world. Like, everybody hated tax collector, and yet everybody loved him and respected him because they knew that he had complete integrity. He didn't take any money on the side, and he was just a gentleman and treated everybody fairly. I mean, if you think about it, tax collection is not the best job. Anyway, this is the memory that I have. I'm sitting on his lap. I'm 4 years old, and he says, "My boy, would you like to know a secret?" And I'm like, "Yes, Grandpa." He goes, "Would you like to be the richest man in the world?" At this point, I remember my ears got like Bugs Bunny ears. Bugs Bunny. Yes, Grandpa. I'm the richest man in the world. He goes, "My boy, if you want to be the richest man in the world, do something good for somebody else every day of your life, and you will become the richest man in the world." And somehow my 40-year-old little brain got that. Do something good for somebody else every day. I'll be the richest man in the world. Of course, at that age, I thought like Pirates of the Caribbean, like gold and silver and, the loot or whatever, right? Going to Disneyland, seeing that. Obviously, as I got older, I realized the wisdom of his statement. And so therefore, when I'm feeling down, the quickest way to me to get out of myself is to go and help somebody else. And when I come back from whatever act of service that is, I feel like $1,000,000. And so acts of service, not random acts of kindness, by the way, or acts of service, mindful, deliberate, conscious acts of kindness and acts of service. You do that, you will live a golden life.
Intentional.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
A
Intentional
hundred
acts of
percent.
service.
It
Yeah.
works every time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, when something happy happens to you or something makes you happy, anger doesn't come in.
No.
If somebody's arguing with you and they tell you a joke, I've seen it happen. The guy, he goes, hey, did you hear about the dog? And the guy stopped and he started smiling. Happens every time. This is
It's
100%
contagious.
guaranteed.
It's
It's
contagious.
contagious.
It's contagious, right?
So let's
So
dream. Let's do a dream world because you're a
let's do it.
doctor. And so what does a happy world look like to you? It's not happy right now.
It's not happy
Everybody
right now.
listening, everybody knows that. What does
No,
it look like to you?
it's divisive. It's hurtful. It's mean spirited a lot of times, especially how we communicate over social media and so on. I think a culture like, and I know this is the ideal, is a culture where you make decisions based on the well-being not only of yourself but on the well-being of others. And if we filter those decisions, it because to me now you're wearing your kindness glasses. If you start making decisions based on that, then you are going to create an incredible community. And it starts within your the four walls of your home, and then spreads the influence. It could be your neighbors, it could be your extended family, it could be your friends, and depending on the platform that you sit on, whether you have 100 followers or 1,000,000 or beyond or whatever impact you can have on that community to help them and to lift them up, then that's how you change the world. And but
Amen.
you gotta walk the talk. That's the other. There's a lot of people who say the right things but don't walk the talk, and that kind of it's disingenuous, and it doesn't work because people are able to see through it. So if I share something with your audience, I do it myself. If I don't do it, I'm going to say, I don't do this. It's a good idea. Like my dad, you should stop smoking, son. Or don't smoke. I should, well,
Tough. Yeah.
what message are we giving? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And happiness comes in many different ways. And that's a great answer. I'm excited. Tell us about this movie. You put all in happiness. You've actually produced with Kevin Smith and
Yes.
Randall McNeely.
Yes.
This movie. Talk about it. People, you need to go out and watch
All right.
this.
So we just produced our first movie called For Such a Time as This, which is a beautiful title. And it's really how one small act of kindness created a global movement called Kindness Worldwide. So, and it doesn't have just Kevin's story, it has other people's stories there as well. And it's beautiful because the simple story is this: Kevin lost his wallet at the supermarket, and this girl who, down on her luck, this is really important, down on her luck, big time, not only found it, didn't take the money that was in it, but immediately within 2 minutes returned it to him. And he wanted to go above and beyond just saying a simple thank you or here's $20 or thanks for giving me that. And so he went above and beyond that, and somehow it became viral. And so as the story grew, he and his brother-in-law, Michael Biga, decided to create this movement called Kindness Worldwide. And and I'm an ambassador for Kindness Worldwide for Greece. So when I go back to Greece, I bring the message of Kindness Worldwide. And we're making some strides over there. And they're global ambassadors. Now it has grown there, Australia, all over the world. I mean, we have ambassadors now, and it's continuing to grow. And what is the mission? The mission is to create communities, townships, whatever, your little town, your village, your city, your state, the country, and in the UN and the entire world to start spreading that kind of kindness. Kevin Smith is a visionary. Okay. He has big dreams. When I first met him, like, are you even grounded or are you just floating up there in the sky? He said, I'm going to get the governor to endorse Kindness Worldwide. Well, guess what? Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania has now endorsed it. Governor of Minnesota has now endorsed it. We got two governors, and I'm not saying it's just a politician. I'm just giving you the impact that is now happening. We got two governors down, 48 to go, and eventually, he's. I know the seeds that are being planted and the doors that are being opened. We're sending them to film festivals now and we're just getting started. So I'm very excited for this project. It will move you, it will touch you.
Yeah. When do you think the movie will be out that people can watch it?
That's a good question. We have to talk to Kevin about that.
Okay.
We've done some private screenings. So there's one we do is through private screenings, and if you go to IMDb, which is basically is the database for all movies, and you go for just Google for such a time as this, we have a 9.8 rating. Now you can say, well, you only have 68 people. Well, yeah, okay, that's 68 people. They're not all family and friends. So it's really resonating with people. And our goal is to inspire. If you watch this movie, now go out and, like my grandpa said, go out and do not a random act of kindness, but a deliberate act of kindness, and start doing it every day in your community and watch how it transforms.
Can
And
people
that's
be,
it.
yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask you this because I hear it all the time. Can people be successful with kindness in their business?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, it's kind of funny you should say that because a couple of months ago, I was on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, which, from a kid from Greece, that's a big deal for me. Like, I'm not a corporate guy, but I was on the floor being interviewed for FinTech TV, financial technology, in the cradle. Like, we're talking about the heart of the heart, like the deepest inner sanctum of capitalism, right, in the world. But guess what I was being interviewed about? What is the impact of kindness in the workplace? And like to the bottom line though, and we can talk about what is the impact. And I work with senior leaders and business owners to help them create cultures of kindness in their organization because the benefits are so many and definitely impact the bottom line.
Beautiful.
100%. It is
Beautiful.
beautiful. And later on this year I'm speaking in Portugal at the World Happiness Summit, which is the biggest event in the mental health, happiness, well-being, and so on in the world. And guess what the theme is? It's
Happy.
kindness.
Kindness. Yeah.
And when I asked, the founder, which is Karen Guggenheim, an amazing lady, I'm like, when she asked me to be the keynote, I'm like, Karen, who's the audience? Like, who comes to you? This is your 10th anniversary. She goes, all the big consulting firms, all, Deloitte, McKinsey, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Ernst Young, but also other, Prada, Nike, the big companies. I'm like, why do they come to your conferences? Because Elia, toxicity in the workplace is an 11 trillion dollar problem yearly. In the United States alone, it's $917 billion, basically a trillion. So they come to her, and her whole idea is happiness. The World Happiness Summit is happiness at work. Like, how can we change the narrative and go from having toxic corporate environments, organizational environments, to ones that are much kinder, much more collaborative? And how can we make that happen? Because people are suffering by the millions as a result of it. And how much time do we spend at work? A lot.
Yeah.
Right.
It's our second life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So let's take that 11 trillion. It's an unbelievable stat.
Unbelievable. Just in the US alone, 917 billion. So that's a trillion just us alone in this country.
Well, what are the events that are making that 970 billion? Meaning, what's happening in the work culture that they're losing $970 billion?
Oh, lost productivity, mental health issues, like, all kinds of things that happen. We know that 80% of employees are disengaged right now in the world. 80%, that means 4 out of 5 show up at work. They actually get paid, but they're not there. Their bodies are there, but their hearts and their minds are completely disengaged. That is a huge cost in terms of creativity, innovation, productivity. I mean, I can go on, right?
Yeah.
And that's where that money comes. That's where that cost is huge. So if you only have like 20%, you have 1,000 employees and only 200 of them are engaged, that means you're paying 800 people and they're disengaged. Now, why are they disengaged? I mean, that's the thing, right? There's something within the culture that causes that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's where you come in as a
Yes.
consultant to solve that problem. And I appreciate those numbers because that's huge.
They're huge numbers. I mean, right. This isn't some minor problem. They're huge numbers. And kindness, it doesn't take all that much actually to create. And
No.
the benefits are, first of all, happy employees. Let's start with the lowest hanging fruit. Do you know that happy employees are physically healthier? Meaning that they don't lose time from work because they're healthy. They actually show up and they show up engaged. So there's a huge cost right there that you save. They're more collaborative. They're better teammates. And people have said, well, Dr. E, why do you say that happy employees are better teammates? I'm like, why? Because their own batteries are full. And as a result of that, I can look over to, and I'm like, Steve has a cloud over his head because it's some family issue. Like, Steve, go home, man. Take care of your wife and your kids. I got your back. Because they're attentive, right? And they can see who needs help within my team, within my department, within my, whatever the case may be, within the company, and they help out. They're more productive. They're more innovative. They're more creative. They're the best. Happy employees are the best marketeers for your team. There's less turnover, so obviously higher retention. We're talking about millions of dollars right there alone, on that alone. But they also bring other people who are like, hey, if you want to work with this company, we have a great culture. So they begin to recruit. You don't have to pay the recruiting company to hundreds of thousands of dollars to bring a good talent in your team. They do it for you. They are your marketeers. They are your brand or ambassadors, right? So when you add all of that stuff up, guess what impact it has on the bottom line? Massive, massive impact. And that's why you want to invest in creating those cultures. You increase engagement, increase retention. I mean, it's across the board. Plus, it's a nice place to work at. Let's talk about even that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's drudgery. And when you have 80% of people who are disengaged in the workplace, that's because it's drudgery. They're not having fun. If they were having fun, they would be engaged. They're
Yeah.
not engaged.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those people on a Sunday, you go, oh, I got to go to work on Monday. That's the
Yes.
80% right there. The real life example, my
Versus
wife,
versus I get to go to work on Monday because I'm so excited. That's the other side.
it's the to me for me scenario.
Right.
I go
Exactly.
to work, I go to work for me.
Right.
Beautiful, beautiful. My wife's manager at Trader Joe's. They
Oh, no way.
exemplify exactly this kind of culture. And it's not perfect, but I love that because she loves working there. She will never, it's 5 years been there. There's a gentleman that's 70 years old. He's been there 20 years. He still works there because he enjoys it.
Okay, you know what's really crazy, Steve, is as soon as this podcast is over, I'm getting in my car and I'm driving to Trader Joe's to get something for my wife. It's so funny you should bring that up. Out of all the stores that you could have told me,
Amen.
it's so
Yeah.
funny, man. Wow, synchronicity. That's
Yeah,
great.
it is. And that's, Chick-fil-A, we go on and on with companies that are flourishing because they're doing the right thing.
Right.
So let's talk about habit because you said it's a skill set.
It
So
is.
with a skill set, you need to practice. What's
Yes.
a habit that can boost happiness pretty quickly?
To me, so self-care. To me, self-care is a non-negotiable, period. And when we talk about self-care, we talk about physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. There's a lot that's been written about, the physical part. Get a good night's sleep, eat moderately and, relatively healthy food, get some moderate exercise. But there are all these other aspects of self-care that are not really talked about. To me, so gratitude, already talked about that and the importance of gratitude, kindness, and those are a given. But there are other ones. I think one of the things that's really missing is self-forgiveness. I think self-forgiveness by itself is the ultimate act of self-compassion, and yet it's missing in action for most people. So most people will go through life with I call it the invisible backpack, which they put on first thing in the morning before they brush their teeth, before they even start scrolling. And that backpack is full of resentments, anger, disappointments, hurts, uh, what have you. And if you don't do the work, then you're carrying all this dead weight. I've had people, because I take people through a self-forgiveness process, and it's actually pretty easy to do. People don't know how to do it, number one, or they're scared to do it. Steve, I've had people that I've had things on their backpack for over 50 years, some mistake, quote unquote, that they made over 5 decades ago, and they're still carrying it. Think about that. Dead weight, right? And when we go through the process, and when we're done, we hug it out. Every single person, and I've done this for 30 years, I've whispered in my ear as we're hugging, thank you, and I wish I had done that sooner. Everyone has said that. And they might add, I feel like 100 or 1,000 pounds has been lifted off of me. So it's really, really powerful. If you haven't done any self-forgiveness or don't know how to do it or whatever, it's not that hard to do, believe me. I can help you do
Amen.
that. It doesn't
Amen.
take that long. It's just make that commitment. The process is easy. Basically, I ask people to write down everything in bullet points that you haven't forgiven yourself for. It could be 5 things or 50 things. I don't really care. And when they're done, I'm like, once you have your list, I want you to put a number next to each one of those statements. One is, well, Steve and I went out to dinner last night. I was wearing a white shirt and I spilled some red wine, and I'm embarrassed. That's a 1. A 10 is I actually killed somebody. Because a lot of people are like, oh, that's a 10. I'm like, did you actually physically murder another human being? No. Did you molest a child? No. Did you rape someone? No. Okay, well then that's not a 10. Whatever you think is a 10, it's probably like closer to a 7 or an 8. And so they write the list and they put a number next to each statement, and then we get to work. It's a piece of paper. They bring it, and we start with the low hanging fruit: the ones, the twos, the threes, and the fours. You lighten the load of the backpack. You gain some confidence, and then we go to the bigger ones that are probably older and have been, embedded there for many years until we're done. And that's basically the process.
Which
Sometimes
is
it takes 2 or 3 hours, and Steve, it's a spiritual process.
yeah,
I mean, there's
yeah,
tears. It's heavy. It's important. So I'm not saying you have to do it with me, but find a trusted advisor, a counselor, a therapist, a coach, your best friend, someone that can hold space for you while you go through that, and do it. It'll be the best gift you give yourself. Or you can call me, and we can do it. I do this over Zoom a lot of times because that's people are I work with people all over the world. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. You shouldn't DIY or YouTube this either. Having an accountability partner like you with this list, and it's powerful. Audience, there you go. If you're a business owner, which a lot of you are entrepreneurs, that's $1 million tip right there. Game changer for your business and your life too, because they go together. It's powerful.
it's really interesting that you called me because I feel like, are you an executive coach? I'm like, no, I'm more of an accountability coach.
Yeah.
Like I listen to you, I get to know you, and I give you the tools, and I hold you accountable. But you got to do the work. I'm not going to do it for you. It's your life. But I will give you the tools, and I'll hold you accountable, and then it'll be great afterwards.
That's the way it should be done because you can't do the work for them. It's not
No.
your backpack. You can't put that backpack on.
And my wife, one last thing I'll say about that, because my wife, 35 years, she's like, how come you never have anything in your backpack? Like I don't think you have anything in your forgiveness list. I'm like, well, I can tell you one reason why. I don't take myself too seriously. That's one reason why. No,
That's a
seriously,
good
I don't
tip.
take that seriously. It's like, okay, I made a mistake, whatever. Like, I go back, Nelson. What can I learn from it?
That's a great tip. That's what a lot of people have a problem with. Their ego gets in the way, like, oh, I
I know,
can't
but
look like that.
if you don't have your ego in the way, then you don't take yourself too seriously. You're light.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
heard somebody say, why do angels fly? Because they take themselves lightly. I didn't come up with that, but I think it's beautiful as a visualization.
It's beautiful. It caught my eye right away.
Right?
Say that again
Right?
one more time.
Why do angels fly? Because they take themselves lightly. In other words,
Nice.
like what I said, I don't take myself too seriously, and therefore I'm light. And you say, well, how are you happy? That's one of the reasons I don't take myself seriously. And of course, now as I'm getting older, I can well, I'm old. I can always blame my brain, like, wow, yeah, I'm getting old. But I've practiced that throughout my whole life. Like, you know what? And because I read Nelson Mandela's quote about 25 years ago, it hit home. It made so much sense. Look for the lesson. It's not a mistake. Because I was hard on I'm a recovering perfectionist, just so you know. So on the outside I would be happy-go-lucky, but on the inside, man, I was doing a number on myself.
Yeah.
And I had
And
an
lived
inner
it.
critic that nobody saw, by the way. This was all hidden. It was just me and my inner critic. But when I read and I understood what Nelson Mandela said, and I started implementing it, I'm like, you know what? This perfectionism, first of all, it's ridiculous. You can have perfect moments, but there's no perfect life, and there's no perfect being. I mean, I'm a spiritual person. I know one person that was perfect. The man upstairs.
Yep.
But that's me. But anyway, so but there are perfect moments. There's some moments that are just beautiful. You can have like a sunset with your sweetheart, in Maui, or in the Greek island of Santorini. Perfect moment, lovely. There are perfect moments, but there's no perfect life.
It's
So
beautiful.
yeah,
Let's end with a fun question.
okay,
So, Elia, we're going to Greece to your favorite restaurant. I'm going to reserve a table. Me and you go obviously sit there, have a meal. I
yeah.
want you to invite three people who've been influential or a game changer in your life, whether dead or alive, doesn't matter. I think I know what one of them is already. But for me, because I'm sitting there, I would like to know what you're going to order for dinner.
Well, I'm going to order lamb with oven potatoes and the works, and then some great Greek dessert afterwards.
Hmm.
So yeah, I've already visualized. It's right underneath. There's a beautiful restaurant called the Old Fisherman's Tavern, and it's been around since the 1800s, and it's literally underneath the Acropolis, like literally. And I've brought so many of my friends from the United States over there, so they know me by when they see me. It's like because I'm always bringing people from the U.S. to enjoy there, and if the weather's good, there's a rooftop garden, so you can eat outside and literally look at the Acropolis lit up at night. which I can't even describe. Like whatever I say, it
Wow.
doesn't come close. And the
That's
food is
beautiful.
unbelievable, like unbelievable food. And in Greece, we don't order. Each person doesn't order a meal. We all order and we all eat everything. So yeah, if you have like 10 people, you're going to have 10 different dishes, and everybody, eats
Shares
everything
it.
else, and
Beautiful.
it's
It's
a
the way to do it.
feast, and it usually lasts for hours. Like it's
It's like the Italians call it family style. That's family style
exactly,
to me. Family
a
style.
100%, exactly the same. Yeah.
So who are you inviting? Who are the three people I get to meet?
I mean, historically speaking, are we talking about people that have passed on and so on?
Your choice, living now or historical.
Well, I would definitely have Jesus Christ for me. Is the greatest teacher. I would be one. I would love to sit and break bread
Oh,
and learn from him. I
oh
think
yeah.
other people. I think like Mother Teresa would be interesting to see. Why did she dedicate her life? What she did. Nelson Mandela would be another one. Martin Luther King. I mean, there's some people that have moved the needle in the history of humanity in a positive way, and I would love to interview them and say, why did you choose? Why did you do what you did against incredible odds, by the way, and a lot of opposition. It's not even. It wasn't easy. I don't think it was easy, but you kept the faith and you stayed strong until the end. So those are some of the people. Gandhi would be another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Powerful people. Yeah.
yes,
That's a heck of a
but they
table.
have something in common. They served humanity. They all have something in common. So the bottom line is they served humanity in a beautiful way, and I want to learn from them.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a legacy we want.
Yes.
Well, Elia, this is an incredible podcast, inspiring. I can't wait to go out and go for a run and think about all the great stuff you talked about. I know people. Well, let's first. What's the name of your book and how people can get the book?
Yeah, so the first book is Seven Paths to Lasting Happiness. That's the one that would become a #1 bestseller on Amazon. It's been translated into 4 or 5 languages. That's helped hundreds of thousands of people. So I would say that book. And then dreliagourgouris.com. If you want a keynote that's going to inspire people, I promise you, I'm going to make you look good. I say that ahead of time before you invite me, and I will go and speak anywhere. Like I said, 4 countries, 10 speaking engagements from in the next 60 days. I'm really excited to.
Okay, let's do this then. I'm going to do something special.
Okay,
So, audience, you know how to contact him. If you reach out and
LinkedIn.
hire him,
Yeah, yeah.
if you hire him for a speaking gig, I'm sending you a gift. So I'm going to send you one of his books. You choose which one you want. So if you hire him as a speaker, I want you to do it because obviously he's going to Portugal and talk to thousands of people in Portugal about kindness, and he works with executives. He definitely is somebody you'd want to have in that group because I like to reward people. That's the other thing about kindness. You're going to give, and you're going to keep giving
Yeah, and
and
I'm
give,
speaking
right?
in Amsterdam, at another happiness conference, and then at a university, at a business school, at a university where they just added that yesterday. I'm like, hey, since you're here, can we get you one more night? I'm like, yeah, why not?
Beautiful.
And then, yeah, just life is short. My parting comment is this: do not procrastinate your happiness.
Amen. I love that.
Amen.
Start yesterday, do it today, and keep doing it tomorrow. I love it. An
That's right.
audience, subscribe to the YouTube channel, mine, somebody else's, because if you're talking to somebody that's not happy, this is a simple one. Take the link and send it to them. Hey, I just listened to Dr. Elia. Oh my God. Talk about happiness and how you can develop it. Did you impact them? Were you kind to them? Were you happy after you impacted them? You see the
A
journey
hundred
I'm
percent.
going through?
A hundred
100%.
percent.
You hear that from the expert. So, and it doesn't have to be my podcast. I hope you would. Hope it's this show. But anything that you see, share these out. Let's change the world together and make it a better place. With that being said, me and Dr. Elia want to thank all of you for watching and listening to this podcast. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.
You too. Thank you so much.